Hey everybody, it's Green Havoc here, and today we are gonna be talking about the top 10 DPS of Stage 4. Let's get into it.
Justice reigns from above.
No one can hide from my sight.
友人の剣をくれ
Cheers, love! The cavalry's here!
Kicking our list off is Otto of the Shanghai Dragons. Now, I know that might surprise you a little bit, but Otto has been a premier Genji player here in the Overwatch League. His stats consistently within the top 5, and there are some premier Genjis. Now, the Shanghai Dragons haven't put all the pieces together that they may have liked, but they are a team coming very close, and Otto is a centerpiece of the Dragons moving forward. You can bet when they get their win, he is going to have made some big plays. So that is our number 10, Shanghai Dragons, Otto. Coming in at number 9, we have Saya player of the Florida Mayhem, who at times mind-blowing Widow stats. I mean, we're talking 30%, 36% critical strike rating and near 70% accuracy, which is just unheard of, even in the top tier of Overwatch. So, Saya player was the difference maker a few times for the Florida Mayhem. Now, the Florida Mayhem didn't exactly have the stage that they were looking for, but Saya player is proving to be the premier Widow that the Florida Mayhem desperately needed. Number 8 is the San Francisco Shock's Architect, who stepped up big and plays a different style of Widow than we've seen on the San Francisco Shock, where Baby Bay likes to bust tanks, get a lot of damage in, and really pressure that front line. Architect likes to take the Widow duels. Architect likes to look for these odd angles and really pounce and control the DPS positions on the enemy team by striking fear from a bunch of just crazy shots to just dependable Widow play. And that is Architect's design. Coming in at number 7, we have another San Francisco Shock player. We have Dante, who in the Overwatch League isn't really a number 1 player in any one category, but he is a player that can play Genji. He can play Tracer. He can play Sombra. He is a flexible DPS player to a bunch of niche roles, and the big thing that I like about Dante is he doesn't have an ego that gets in the way. He is totally fine with being subbed in, subbed out, played, in an entire series, played for just one game of a series. He is a flexible player both for his team and as far as his hero pool. And that is something that you absolutely need to have when you're trying to make pushes into the top flight of the Overwatch League. That's our number 7. That's Dante. Coming in at number 6. I know we're almost to the top 5, but for now we're talking about, well, this player has made some mistakes. No, that is his name. We're talking about mistakes. A player who stepped up big for his team when they needed it. He looked only to be a Sombra player at first, having great Sombra stats. However, he quickly branched out into anything that his team needed him to at least try, Widow being the backbone of what we saw Mistakes play. He played a little bit onto the Soldier and the McCree, but the Widow is where he made his stay. And he gave some of the top Widows of this league a real run for their money as they went perfect on the stage. Mistakes being a very large part of it. We're here, the top 5, and kicking off number 5 is none other than the big boss himself. Yes, we are talking about Pine. Basically the premier of premier Widows as far as this stage go. He did not shy away from a single duel or give a single inch. He would get killed, and then the next second, he would be high-flying in the sky, taking out just anything in his line of sight. The man has no fear. The man has just this unbreakable nerve about him, and that is what you need when you are chasing the first titles for the Overwatch League. And boy, is the New York Excelsior making a good name for themselves. Number four, Surefor. And that's right, we are going to the Los Angeles Gladiators Surefor because he came up big constantly for his team. And he's really starting to be that backbone player, that real just spine of the team that they needed. No longer is it just Fissure making the difference in these LA Gladiator games. Surefor is really starting to step up big, getting damage done. He looked super shaky on his Widowmaker play in Stage 1, okay in Stage 2, but Stage 3, he came alive as a premier top-flight, dueling, battling, and honestly won most of his fights Widowmaker in the Overwatch League. And when the meta is so clearly geared towards Widowmaker being strong, at least for the top-flight pros, maybe not in our quick play games and ranked, but in the top flight pros, it is all about the Widowmaker, and Surefor is all about getting the wins. Alright guys, let's get in some honorable mentions before we hit those top 3 players. For me personally, I have to throw in Hure. He stepped up big for his team, filling in for Birdring. No small shoes there to fill, and I think he did a great job battling some of the premier threats of the Overwatch League. Bushido Viking gave Fleta his vote. Fleta is ever the premier player of the dynasty, and he can't go unnoticed. He is an absolute menace, and if you don't deal with Fleta, you're probably not going to beat the dynasty. Oh hey, it's Derek. Had to give his props out to Gaguri of the Shanghai Dragons, and technically, no, not a DPS, but Gaguri had insane kill-to-death ratios and pumped out that pain the only way a top-flight diva can. For NASCAD, he went with agility, someone who struggled heavily in Stage 2, battling for his spot non-stop, but in Stage 3 was a huge reason that the LA Valiant were able to make it all the way to the playoffs. Coming in with Cyanize, he had to go with Linkser. Linkser is one of the best Widows in the league, at least when it comes to dueling. He doesn't have very many bad days, and no Widowmaker player feels safe when Linkser is on the field. And besides, you always gotta kill him twice because you know that Rez is coming in for him. And we all know how Linkser does. He doesn't lose twice in a row. Those are your honorable mentions. Let's get into these top 3. Top 3. This is where it starts to get down to the inches, the tiny things that separate players, and our number 3 is none other than SBB Sabiobi, because he is realistically one of the best tracers on the planet. And he showed that he could play Widowmaker, he could dance around a little bit, and had some flexibility that the New York Excelsior need him to have, but it's hard to tell him to play anything else when he just makes big play after big play. That's Sabiobi, and he always makes a difference. Now, this team didn't have the best stage, but for number 2, it is Prophet. And the reason Prophet steals the number 2 from Sabiobi, despite New York Excelsior's ever just wonderful run in the Overwatch League, is because Prophet has no bad heroes. We have literally seen him play almost every hero, and we saw him play so many heroes just this stage. Whether it was Reinhardt, Zarya, Tracer, Widowmaker, Genji, McCree. I mean, we saw Prophet play just about everything and make a play on just about anything. So Prophet is a surefire top 3 pick, and for this stage, he's taking the number 2. Who could be number 1? Well, let's get into it. Number 1 is making an incredibly strong case for best tracer. Now, I think Sabiobi still has it by inches, but if there was ever a conversation, it was started in this stage, because Striker is a madman on a mission. He absolutely is just I don't want to say he's carrying the Boston Uprising, because the Boston Uprising are an amazing team that have really put a winning form together. But Striker is insane. I mean, play after play. Tracer bombs just about anywhere, everywhere you can imagine. He will take the duels, he'll ignore the duels, he'll get your back line, he'll battle your tanks. Striker is a man who just doesn't say die. He gets low, he recalls, and then he blinks back in a flash because he's not done doing his job and he's not done doing his damage. He's gonna keep that pressure on in every single second. You think you won the team fight. If Striker's not out, if Striker's still around, the team fight isn't won, because Striker will find a way to turn it in his favor. We saw it so many times throughout the stage. The comeback against the Spitfire, taking down Dynasty, taking down the London's, or taking down the New York Excelsior. All three of the top flight Korean teams taken down. And you know what? They didn't stop there. They beat every single team in the Overwatch League on a perfect run through Stage 3. And that rests on the shoulders of Striker, our #1 DPS. Alright guys, I hope you liked the list, and if you had some differing opinions, you know what? Throw them down in the comment section, because I would love to read your list. I would love to get a conversation going about where you differ as far as the top players go. There's so many players, and it's really hard to make these lists, but we here at ESHQ all had a group discussion, and this is where we landed. So if you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified when our videos go live. Guys, we have taken a little break from putting out content, but that is because we are revamping how we do the content, and it is coming back with a passion. It's coming back big, it's coming back loud, and I hope you enjoy it. And until the next video, you guys have a great game, and good luck in your games.